Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumble through! Fumbling through, fumbling through. Fumbling through, fumbling through. Fumbling through!
Greetings, princes of pop and facial shape changes extraordinaire, and welcome to Fumble Through!
Fumble Through!
A podcast that once rocked so hard its hair caught on fire. That's right, it's heating up here in the Fumble Factory, and I, for one, have already loaded up a stick ready for that melty, sticky goodness of roleplay fun. Thanks for coming along for the ride as we once again dip our toes into Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and play the Sensual Essentials kit. I just put essential in front because it was going to sound like that anyway. Known as the Dragons of Ice Spire Keep. That's not even a keep. It's just called the Dragon of Ice Spire Peak. That's actual words there.
Ice Spire a peak?
With my little Eye Peak. It's called the Dragon of Ice Spire Peak. It is a really hard thing to get. The sensual kit, the Ice Spy with my little eye peak, I can't get through it. Yes. Anyway, this box is still out there and available. I've seen it in some shops on the place. So if you at home have some friends and you love to play along with us, go and grab a copy because we would love for you to fill us in on how it turns out, but just be mindful of spoilers and sharing too much because we want to keep the mystique. Speaking of a man who spoils things by sharing too much and dressing up like the X-Man Mystique.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are great places to, let us know about beers we should try or even send us one like our brew we have today. This brew is sent to us by Frank.
Oh, hey, brew.
Hey, Frank. Hi, Frank.
It is inspired by our very own Miles McCarthy.
Oh.
It is.
So it's got it's going to put us to sleep.
Yes, it's a one-dimensional flavour.
Wow. No beer for
Straight
you.
off.
Oh, wow.
I was going to say it's got Riptol in it.
Yeah.
I'm just going to not hand out the beers.
No. It looks like a good beer. It looks like a good. Thank you, Frank.
Yes, Frank.
So this is his little blurb.
Hurry up, I'm thirsty.
Miles McCarthy, a member of the legendary Reggie 3. Some know him as a witch, but with a good knockout punch. They might even know him by the many ranks he held during his time of the City Watch. But those who really know Miles know him as a beetroot farmer. So here I present a drink in his honor, Miles Sleepy Beet Ale IPA.
Smells like chloroform.
This drink was specially crafted using a hop only found in the highest mountains where dragons hoard amazing treasures.
Ooh. So Frank's actually gone on an adventure to find this.
He's using this, I think it's called a Styrigian dragon hop.
Oh, at Ice Spire Peak.
With my little eye.
This combined with beets grown by the legendary Miles himself produces an amazing, uniquely coloured ale, aromas of a mixed berry and orange jam that is balanced with a pleasant earthy notes.
Oh.
You'll certainly feel like you've had a round with Miles after having a couple of tankards of this drop.
That's not a good thing.
No.
Brewmaster Franciscus of the Fumbling Buffoon Ale House.
Oh,
I love
Very
it.
well done.
The fumbling
Well done.
buffoon.
Did you say it
I
had-
love it.
all right. Well, come on then.
Crack
Show
them
us
open,
the-
Reggie Free.
Give
Let's
us
go.
All right. So,
Give us a view.
I'm always intrigued by the idea. So, is this actually made with beets involved in it?
Yes.
Got a nice smell.
Oh,
Nice
it's
aroma.
got a beautiful aroma.
Yeah, you can follow him.
Oh.
Let me get his Instagram up.
Oh, wow. Look at that. It's golden.
It's beautifully, you might think it's kind of going to come out pinky, but it's a beautiful golden colour, Frank.
When I pee,
It's
will
a-
it be red?
It's a little, with your kidney stones, you
Oh,
will.
it's deep.
By how many knuckles?
Such a shit.
So follow him on Instagram, brews_by_Frank, and you'll see some of the pictures of how he made it and whatnot.
Bruised by Bros.
Look at that.
Oh, so he's done
yours
like
has
a
got a
whole
lovely head on
how-to.
it there, Luke.
This is what she proclaimed.
I didn't get as much bubbles as you did.
Me
So
no.
it's all in the pour.
It might have been that one I didn't rinse after I washed the glass.
This is the one that's
Sudsy.
got the Got the Rufus in.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, Frank. Thank you, Frank.
This is the sleep strike one, right?
That's good.
Skeksis.
Right, done. now I can drink it.
I thoroughly like
How many
that.
units?
This
did you
is
say?
very good,
Sorry?
Frank.
How many units?
1.2.
1.2. Okay,
Oh,
good.
Frank's a
He was
unit.
going for 1.8, but he's learning.
That passion fruit tone is beautiful.
As long as it's not actually 1.8
Oh, it's-
and he's saying it's 1.2.
I guess we should provide something more than it's very good. Like I do like that you use passion. It's very light.
It's very earthy.
it's very deep.
How many knuckles? Yeah, it's this for me is my kind of beer. This is like a good summery kind of. It's not as
It's an easy drink,
Yeah,
for sure.
I don't have a very good beer palate, so I suck at this kind of stuff. Give me a whiskey and I'll tell you what's in it. But
Will you,
No,
Lindsay?
There's absolutely got some beautiful citrus tones in there, some
Wheat.
floral notes in there. It's really, really lovely.
It's nothing. The
It's
bottle's
got
empty.
a wonderful colour, very drinkable. I'll let you guys keep going while I keep commenting.
Yeah, please do.
Very drinkable. I think this is a perfect thing for a Sunday afternoon with
can't
some
believe-
mates around.
I cannot
Sunny
believe
day,
this has got
perfect for-
beetroot in it.
Yeah, but perfect for like this hot February weather. This is just like totally chilled down. Perfect.
It's like a post lawn mowing beer for me. Like
Oh,
this
yeah,
is one of
yeah.
those beers that you go mow
I'm
the
parched.
lawns. I've earned something
Yeah.
good. There's just enough bitterness to it
Yeah.
that I'm like that'll hit the spot. You know,
I reckon this would be good for a shandy as well. A bit of lemonade, a bit of sweetness in there.
Yeah.
After mowing the lawn, when you want a bit of hydration, that could work. I think, it's
jump in the pool,
you can't
I
drink
don't-
your pool water.
I don't know. It does have that
piss in it.
touch of like beetroot sweetness when it first hits the tongue.
To be fair, I don't know what beetroots taste like.
Really?
Raw.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's not a memorable taste for me.
Well, I was going to say the only beetroot I've ever eaten is pickled.
Oh, I
What
made
about
pickled
on a
beetroot.
burger?
They're pickled though, right?
They are pickled on a burger, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't
I-
like beetroots on a burger.
Beetroots are amazing. I love beetroot.
I've had raw beetroot salad, but I can't pull back the taste of that.
Let me retract that comment entirely. Yes, no, I have had raw. It's not too dissimilar to. It's more the texture that's different.
It's
than-
just a crunchy kind of
yeah,
texture.
yeah,
It's like,
100%. Yeah,
like a red juicy carrot. But I can't picture
Isn't that a turnip?
I can't place
No,
the taste
for
of it.
white. Sorry, we've gone
Parsnip?
off a tangent.
yeah. This is good though. I'm
is
enjoying
good.
this. This is
Every time
this is
we
the
drink the
moment.
beer,
Yeah.
everything falls
goes to
to
shit.
shit.
Frank,
Every time.
I'm going to make this commitment, Frank. We're going to come out and we're going to drink one of these with you at some point to show our appreciation and find out what you
Maybe
do and how
more
you
than
do
one.
it.
one. Yeah.
Well,
One crate.
I think it's worth a visit to Frank's place at some point. I think we might.
I might bring him some random shit from my house to make beer from. If he can make beer
I'm not sure
this
it works
good
that
from,
way,
Yeah.
Justin.
If he can make beer this good from beetroot,
Here's He-Man. Make me a beer.
oh fuck.
He's
The
already
power of Eternia
In a glass.
in a glass. I have the power.
he's already told me about his next one he's working on. It's a Christmas brew.
Oh,
So it probably won't
Hebrew?
by the time we drink it, probably Christmas will be gone.
It will be
But,
Christmas. Again.
yeah, it's called Jeebus Water.
Sorry, guys. That's
Wow,
really carbonated.
wee.
Yeah, I like it. There we go. Okay.
So let's get back on. We usually, so the wheels fall off and then we ask a question and then we prattle on for a little while. So this one, get prepared to ask some clarifying questions, Luke, because this one is broad and it is crazy. So this week's dicey
My wife.
question is... I didn't say a crazy broad. But yeah, so this one is going probably to be a little bit obtuse. Yes, Brett, you've got your hand raised.
Yep, I do.
Already got a list.
No. I've just come back. Like I've come from work and I'm wearing the trousers, the jeans that I wore at work.
Yeah, put a shirt on.
No, I've just realised after spending a day in public meetings with no table that I have a crotch hole in these jeans. I wondered what the draft was, and it wasn't the beer.
It's interesting that
Surely in this heat you were thankful for it, right?
Well, it's very cold in the office. Well, that's my excuse.
I was going to say that's what you told everybody else, isn't it?
is that why with those jeans you're wearing the boots with the fur?
That's not fur, mate.
Boots with the fur.
He hit the floor. He ripped his ball.
Oh dear.
Yes, the wheels have
Whoa.
truly come off.
I have to go and see HR tomorrow.
We don't have a HR department in the Fumble Factory. We should get one.
Sorry for interrupting, but that was a moment where I took hold of myself quite literally.
Oh. Actually, can you pop them back in?
Just the one.
Yeah, as we get older. All right. Anyway. Oh, man, this is not a good segue. So the question that I've got this week, the dicey question, if you have a dicey question, send them in to us because, we need Luke to be clarifying things as much as possible. So make them really obtuse like I have. What is some fantasy lore that you wish that they have added to the role-playing games or had never taken away? So, a piece, I guess, to clarify before Luke asked me, a piece of fantasy lore that might have been in the books at one point or that you've read in Tolkien or, some other kind of lore that's out there that might not actually be in the rule books. What should be added? What should never have been taken away?
Or what should never have been added, maybe.
Oh, okay. If you want to go there as well, sure.
Cool. Midichlorians.
Okay. In the Star Wars lore?
Never should have been added.
Never should have. Okay. Then how do you... Okay.
No, you don't need to have an explanation for the
No,
Force.
no. I've got a clarifying question for you.
You've got a clarifying question.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you have midichlorians, if you take the world of midichlorians out, because I've heard this argument a lot, how do you determine that Anakin Skywalker is the most powerful Jedi?
Just his ability to manipulate
Because
the
his
Force.
power
But he
is
doesn't know
over
how to.
9,000 midichlorians.
He goes all the way to 11.
Yeah, so they go to Naboo, they go to Tatooine and they find this child on there and they scan his midichlorians, which then tells him he's off the charts, more powerful than Master
I've got the answer
Yoda.
for that for you because they never had any of that in the original stuff.
Yeah.
When they talked about Anakin being the most powerful, nobody had an issue with that at the time either.
Yeah.
For some reason,
You feel it in the Force.
they just decided to put this extra piece of information in that was unnecessary and really just put the kibosh on the whole thing.
I hate how they science up the
But how do you-
magic.
But there
it
has
was
to
a
be-
mystic thing. It didn't need to be a scientific
But
thing.
there has to be a moment where you quantify that this is
Why?
the most.
Why don't they justify how Doctor Strange can do his stuff?
Because the whole justification in the story is to say this kid's special. He might be the chosen one. He's off the chizzies, and you can't just be like the Force is strong with him.
Yeah, we are talking about...
Yeah, but don't forget as well, the chosen one thing was again something that was brought in at the same time as the midichlorian
You were supposed
story
to be
arc.
the chosen one.
Yeah, that's all prequel stuff.
Yeah, but the whole idea of Darth Vader is that he was supposed to bring balance to the Force. So there was that is in the lore, that is in big lore of Star Wars. That's
But was that in
It did
big
bring
lore
balance to the Force.
when the original movies came out though? Was that
Yeah.
in the original lore?
Darth Vader's whole purpose was to bring balance to the Force. It was too many good Jedi users. He got rid of them all. Then there was only one good one and two bad ones. He balanced that out to 1 and 1.
Okay, but still, there was no need for this idea of a midichlorian count.
Don't need midichlorian counts.
well,
Are you with me on this one, Brett?
I'm right there with
The
you.
Star
I'm
Wars,
not-
the Star Wars one at the table is with me on this.
Never,
Good.
not
never
against-
did they go, oh, Luke, he's so powerful because he's got 2 billion midichlorians.
yeah, but he's the only one. He was the only. There's no one to compare him to.
You don't go, Yoda doesn't go, oh, shut up, Mace, I'm 50,000 midichlorians.
What's your midichlorian count?
What colour's your Bugatti?
But the thing is, right, we are talking about a sci-fi universe where they've flying vehicles and
They
all that
put
crap.
magic right down the guts of it.
But why couldn't? But of course, someone's going to try and quantify it.
But okay, so in terms of story, and I go back to this question, how do you get Qui-Gon to identify that this small child who doesn't understand that they're a Force user and isn't using the Force and is a slave, he has to free this child through a pod race? Like there's a whole story that's linked to the fact he's identified that. Tell me how you then...
Qui-Gon reads his aura and it is a
you
powerful
still
aura.
sense the
Done.
Force. You still sense the Force.
Yeah. And then he
oh,
He's
says,
a master.
Okay.
He senses power.
and then he says, "Dude, come with me. I'll teach you
I found
magic."
a dude with Jedi powers. Yes, they're everywhere in the universe, Qui-Gon. Leave that one alone. Find another one.
They all go, he is the chosen one. They all buy into that. There's no test for that. They
His
bought-
aura, but then, okay, his aura's pink. We've never seen a pink aura before. We would still have the same issue with that.
Actually, they did test him. They did the cards that he had to read without seeing.
Oh, like in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
It's a star.
Yeah. No need for midichlorians there.
So I get I get the frustration of midi-chlorians.
Really,
I'm not saying that I'm
you sound
defending
like
it.
you're against it.
I'm not saying I'm defending it, but
He's
I'm
just
saying
trying to be difficult.
I am saying to you that as a story point, there is no other way that you could, because I've pondered this and I too have
how
the
come
same
you-
issues you have, but I'm like, how else could you have done it?
right.
How else could you have done it?
How do you need to know how Gandalf made the light? Do you need to know how?
Yes. That shits me
No,
off.
but that's him.
I hate the fact.
This is why they've done it. It's for people that can't
No,
just let
him-
it go.
But for him making the light does not say to everybody, "Oh, he's the most powerful wizard in the world." Like there is a moment where you're like, okay, how do you prove that Anakin is the most powerful Force user that's ever lived? There
You
has to
killed
be a
all the other
measurement.
Force users.
Yeah, but this is before he
Able to
became a
levitate
Force
larger
user.
things, able to see further in the
It's a
future, able to.
based argument on a faith construct. It's a faith construct. Believe he is the most powerful Force user. It's a faith. It's a mystic art. You've got to step into the faith on it.
But in a world where, in a universe that's far, far away and
Yeah, I was
full
going to say,
of
you doing a trailer.
and full of Force users, though. There
Also-
are Force users, all Force sensitivity is
There's Force
rife.
sensitivity, Force attuned, and then Force users. It's very different.
Yeah, but it's rife out there. There's lots of them.
The trained Force user
Yeah.
can sense the difference
Yeah,
and
Luke's
are
the
attuned to it. But there was no need to introduce the idea of the way you sense that and you are attuned to it is because you have lots of these little things in all your cells and all your body.
Yeah.
There was no need for
I
that
get that
concept.
bit. There just needs to be a measurement tool for me to make that
You're a
storyline work.
fucking measurement tool.
I'm
I'm glad that mine caused so much controversy around the table. There we go.
It's always a Star Wars question, isn't it? What I don't get is why you would say the Jedis are some part of a clone army. That's what I don't understand mostly.
My word, that was a throwback. wasn't it?
It's always a Star Wars question
My-
that causes controversy at this
Lindsay, I
table.
wouldn't let that slide. if I
My
was you.
funny thing is,
Take
I was
these
actually
pants off.
thinking Star Wars as well. And you know the thing that I wish I never added?
Luke Skywalker,
I'm trying to think of the right word now. Clunky. Is it clunky?
What?
Jar Jar Binks.
No. Frickin'
We're all waiting.
Han Solo in the cantina in the recent
Him
edit.
shooting
from,
first.
Yeah, in the recent edit where
And him stepping on Jabba's tail and all of that bit.
Oh, you got about the Send No Send bit where he shoots Greedo first.
yeah. I'm talking about when they've had the whole change so that Greedo now insults him and then he shoots him.
Ah,
Okay, but there are three versions of that.
Yes,
So
and
the
the
first
only
one,
good one
he-
was the first one where he
the
just
first
shoots
one
first.
he shoots first, which is him being a baller.
Yeah.
The second one, Greedo shoots, then he shoots, and
Yeah.
then they re-edit it so they both shoot at the same time.
Yeah, McClunky is what he says. McClunky.
McClunky.
Does he?
Yep.
I was listening.
Greedo calls him
Interestingly enough,
Ego
just as a little
McClunky.
sidestep.
I don't watch those versions. So
I'm just saying it's crap.
cinematic re-shoot.
plug for another podcast. Listen to the.
Must be good if you can remember it.
No. I've only literally just started listening to it from a recommendation from another podcast. So it's called
Which was?
Marshall. Here we go. Marshall Thoughts podcast, and there was lots of episodes of stuff I was listening to about Aikido and things like that. But there's two episodes where they're talking about the Star Wars. They talk about New Hope, and the second one that I've been listening to, they talk about Empire. But it's just looking at the construct of the story from a martial arts perspective, like the whole reaching back to the whole journey, like Daniel and Miyagi and things like that. So like
The hero's journey.
Yeah,
so
really-
Campbell's hero's
like,
journey.
but pull it apart in such a way that it was just like blew my mind. Like some of the aspects in the journey of Luke's story through that is just absolutely
Yep.
fantastic. But
Well, the story of Star Wars is essentially the hero's journey.
yeah,
And it's the epitome of that kind of story. I think Dan Harmon, who is responsible for Rick and Morty, has used that and created an episode kind of guide for that as well. That's really good as well. You can look that up.
cool.
you'll find a similar story in the Muppet movie.
It's retold in countless
Yeah.
movies.
Isn't it based on the Seven Samurai or Kurosawa or something?
Countless. No. It goes back
They
to
asked
stories.
Kurosawa.
Yeah.
Was it Kurosawa to be Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Did they?
Did they?
Apparently,
knew that.
yeah. And he said no because he
No,
thought that
Alex should do it.
he said at the time apparently he turned it down. This is from this podcast. He turned it down because he was worried that the Bushido would be portrayed in a less than favorable light in what seemed at the time was a very low end kind of filmmaking. The science
Yeah.
fiction genre was
Yeah.
very low end at
Yeah,
that
okay.
time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that was a bit of an eye opener for me as well.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Since you've been listening to all these podcasts, like which was the last one of ours you listened to?
I don't like to listen to
Justin talk.
Yeah. He always takes his headphones off while I speak.
Yeah, I'm not so self-indulgent as to listen to my own voice, so I don't listen to it.
High praise indeed.
It's great for our listenership. It's fantastic. Thank you all for listening.
I just don't like the way I
Not
sound.
Luke.
I just don't like the way I sound.
Yeah, I know. I hear you. Now, having heard that, then my answer is, why isn't Kurosawa in Star Wars?
Wow. So should have been just a Star Wars question rather than a fantasy genre question. Yeah. Do you have one, Brett? Like fantasy lore? I got like 5 locked in.
Of course you have. You've had all this time with the question, right?
I'm not a fan in the Dritz world of orcs go up in flames
That's
on a
one
spark.
of mine.
Trolls.
Trolls.
Is it trolls, is
Yeah.
it? Well, if you're vulnerable to fire, you surely will have some kind of resistance there, not a immediate kind
No,
of...
but that's the vulnerability.
What, you go up like a tinderbox?
Yeah.
Do they really just go up?
In that
literally,
story they
it's
do.
spark and
Yeah.
it's a troll fire.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like,
They literally spark them on fire with a tinderbox and some oil.
how are their trolls ever alive if that's the
but
way...
sunlight
Because
just
they
off
live
they
in,
go. Like,
but trolls live in swamps. So they live in aquatic
full of very flammable gases.
and rodents of unusual size. Have you seen that movie yet?
No.
No.
Even when I have, I'm still going to say no.
Yeah. All right. So that's your one.
Brett's taking notes.
Yeah. Should Luke
Yeah.
watch The Princess
You're
Bride?
on the list, Luke.
Oh, the Christmas list, finally.
Maybe we should have a park viewing of The Christmas Bride and invite people.
Christmas
Christmas Bride. Sorry. Been watching some weird videos.
I'd love to see the Princess Santa at Christmas time.
The beetroot beer has gone to my head.
Yeah,
Is that all
right.
you got, or have you got more?
Well,
I do have an issue with Gandalf.
do you? Well,
Yeah.
you go. You go.
Are you going to fight him?
So
No,
hang on, is this a lore issue you have with
Thi-
Lord of the Rings?
This is something I've spoken about before. I hate magic with no rules. I hate the fact
You have said this before, yeah. I do
that
remember.
Gandalf just goes,
You
and
shall
shit
pass.
happens. Yeah. Like, and then, I fought him days and nights through fire and flame and water, and suddenly I died and then woke up.
How does that mean it hasn't got rules, though? Maybe there are rules that you just don't get.
That's why I hate it.
So what I used was the first level cantrip.
It's also why I hate algebra.
Algebra.
Because there's no rules. Right.
There are rules. There are rules.
But I don't get them.
Okay.
So could there possibly be magic rules for Gandalf that you just don't get them? They're on
Maybe,
a higher
but
plane.
I just have issue with
Peter Jackson specifically talked about backing away from the magic element of Lord of the Rings as well. Like there is a lot of magic. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, if you really look at Gandalf, he may be a druid rather than a proper wizard.
Well, he's actually a demigod. I've been listening to the audiobooks. I've been trying to get through them. And he's actually a demigod.
When he's Gandalf the Grey or White?
No, just their race.
their
the
race
four
is-
of them. Is
Oh.
it four? There's four, isn't there?
There's 9.
9, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, they come down
The-
in the
the
second
star.
age. Is it in the second age they
Yeah.
come? Yeah.
Well, they come all different times.
Oh,
They-
Jesus.
They're never
Depends.
late or early. They come exactly when they need to.
Oh, well done.
That's why I keep trying to tell my wife.
I've got 2 more.
Yep, go. Go.
I don't like, and they're similar, and DC Universe.
Yep.
Superman impervious to everything but kryptonite. I
Yeah.
think they should have added more flaws
There is
in-
one more.
and magic,
Yep.
but there needs to be rules around the magic or you cryptoplexix.
Mitzelplix.
Yep.
He's not magic.
Anyway, so kryptonite for him, Shazam for Shazam, the word Shazam for Billy Baxton.
Yeah.
Stupid.
What do you mean?
Totally, like, what's the point? There's one way to get around them, and it's a very obvious way. And
What
you go,
I don't like is
how are
the
we going to be
fact...
Superman? Oh, we'll put kryptonite in his drink.
Well, Shazam's supposed to be the secret word. He's actually called Captain Marvel, and they can't do it in the mainstream now because Captain Marvel,
He's Captain Marvel.
exists in 2 kind of areas. But that is so now that they've renamed him Shazam, every time someone goes, "There's Shazam," book, everybody should actually be bestowed the power of
Of all the gods.
Shazam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is but it's also a superhero thing. So
I
who
would
cares?
like them to have more vulnerabilities.
more vulnerabilities.
I think that would make
Are
it.
you saying that while he's in human form and he's a cripple, he's not vulnerable?
You know what I would prefer?
Billy Baxton.
Yeah. He's got a gammy leg.
He's not gammy in the movies.
Yeah.
I'd prefer to do more like when Spider-Man tries to save Gwen
Yeah.
and breaks her back. I'd more like to see like Superman try and save Lois and like dives under her with the arms out and cuts her in half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
she-
well, yes, I
You
think
know,
there's a lot of
I
that.
reckon to go the moral,
Superman flying Lois in the sky, that's physically impossible. Like, there's a whole heap of Superman bullshit that if you've just got to buy into the.
I mean, he's got arms of steel, so like
She doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. So
He's going
Look,
very
he
fast.
We just go back to Superman holding up a plane.
He catches
That
her
is
and just-
one point, the whole plane would crumble.
Uh-huh.
Like there is no
There's a
way.
lack of physics in that world.
But that's what makes him super. How do you know that he doesn't project some kind of aura and the things that he touch
Or-
are impervious?
or
Well,
to
because
that?
of all the mini chlorines he's got. in
Yeah,
his
I mean,
body.
in Flash has the Speed Force, which is what they call it. I'm Barry Allen. I'm the fastest man alive.
I think there's significant flaws with the superness of those two characters. And, put it up against Homelander and you go, all right, there's the flaw. You can have all of the imperviousness, but you've
So
got to be
interesting.
morally flawed.
It's so interesting that you'll say that, but the fact that Batman is in the same league as Wonder Woman, Green Lantern,
Batman's not.
it's like Batman has no place there. That's like, in Marvel, they've gone Daredevil. He's probably a street level character. He's probably not up in
Punisher
space.
as well.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, like they've got their place. Spider-Man is not actually in the comics this cosmic fighting dude. Yeah, he tries, but he's more of a he's your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Don't even fucking start, Luke.
But Batman can take on Superman and win.
Yes, because he's used
Or in
his
fact, Darth
brain.
Vader, if you look at the fan art.
Yeah, he's used his brain, but that's because Batman.
Well, he's used
looks
his
really good.
cash.
But everyone can take on Darth Vader.
For that, Jeff Bezos should be a superhero.
Yeah, but okay, talk about that. Like, if his power is using his cash, fucking Iron Man has him down pat. He at least made a super suit that allows him to fly and shoot
Iron Man's
shit.
also genius level and has a whole heap of other
Well,
stuff.
Batman's a scientist.
So this started out as a question about lore in games.
Yes, lore in fantasy world. So, have you got one more?
No, Shazam and Superman.
Okay, that were you two.
Double bangers.
So my one is more around traditional fantasy, around the idea that trolls catch on fire and stuff. The thing that I'm missing from from kind of fantasy games, at one point elves didn't actually sleep and they only needed 4 hours of rest because they went into a reverie and they actually needed less rest than other characters did.
Yeah.
The
They could
other
be
one-
on watch all night.
Yep. The other one that has kind of disappeared is stone cunning in dwarves. Like, dwarves used to be able to walk through a stony area and be able to see traps and be able to identify those kinds of things. The Tolkien kind of thing that and we see it in the movies even, that elves are so light they can walk on top of
Snow, that
snow
was
while
pretty cool,
everybody
yeah.
else has to trudge through them. Like, these are things that I'm like, oh, these are little tiny moments that don't affect too much, but I can imagine someone out there has ruined the rule by exploiting it so much that
Yeah,
they've
that's
gone,
a retcon
we're done.
it.
We're
Yeah.
done. That created imbalance because we are done. So, those little kinds of things are
Can I-
things that I want back in the game.
Can I just interrupt?
Yep.
5e rulebook here. Trance. Elves don't need to sleep. Instead, they meditate deeply, remaining semi-conscious for 4 hours a day.
Oh,
There we go.
okay.
Totally
Wow.
this
I can
bullshit
go
was
on,
bullshit.
but that's, yeah.
Well, Pathfinder is what I know more than 5th edition because I'm not reading these books because I'm being more like Luke. Hashtag. But yeah. Well, I'm glad that is something that is back because I think that's a really interesting. It's part of their race. It's part of that culture that I love around those things. So yeah, that was my question anyway. That was really good. Good, midi-chlorians.
If you have dicey questions, remember to submit them at Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
If you have dicey answers that are better than ours,
Put them on the Facebook post that we post regularly on a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
make sure you drink a beer before you do it, so your answers are shit too. So anyway, where we left it, we are going back to the Dragon of Ice Spire Keep. keeping those
Peak.
words very separate. Peak. That's the word that you took out of that. So who can, going back to the dragon of I Spy Keep, we are zooming.
I spy a peak.
Yeah, I keep fucking it up, don't I?
Getting my eye
We zoom
spied.
back into an area known as Nomengard under a waterfall in a series of caverns. We find J.R. Lockwood.
The first Stonebirds King went off without a hitch. Songs were sung, drinks were had, and boobs were flashed, and then explained to Nikron. After a long night's rest, the trio of travelling troubadours headed south to Nomengard, where a bunch of gnomes are rumoured to live, working on forging technology and magic, and have made a weapon capable of killing a dragon. Upon arrival, shortly they were attacked by a crazed gnome with a thinking what's it doodad, but she was no match for the dashing and charming good looks of J.R. Lockwood.
Yeah, that's close, KR. That's close to what happened. I think your license is.
Well, I don't know what that thing is, so it's a thing me what's it doodad.
I think that's exactly what it's called. I think you've got that nailed. I think it was more about the charm that you exuded at the time.
I mean, I cast charm on it and it stopped.
Is that what
exuding.
happened?
Yes.
I was too busy balancing
Yes.
upon it.
Yep. No, I cast charm. It's a spell. It makes someone my friend. But we've only got an hour, so we should probably move on.
Righto.
So where we last left it, you had just pulled a dart out of J.R. Lockwood's shoulder after seeing a gnome that was wearing a helm with a large dent in it that was like, Factor, and she's still tinkering. She's gone back to tinkering with her little contraption. You can see her putting some of the pulleys and the cords and starting to rebuild some of the problems that Maradius caused by jumping on top with his heavy stone body. And she goes back to just mumbling.
Easy with heavy stone body.
With his rock hard
Substantial.
abs. Yeah.
Substantial.
And she sort of starts going back to fixing that and basically pays you no heed. But you can also see she's immediately reloading some of the crossbow bolts straight back into it. She's starting to put stuff back together. And the whole time she's like, wow, swing door, see, factory, door, see, ping, ping. Oh,
Prudence would suggest we move along from this area.
Yes, I think so.
So we're still under waterfall and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, you're in caves.
Yep.
So essentially you are in a cave area, and if you have forgotten, throughout this area, it's about 7 feet high, flat. I guess for you, it might be a little enclosed.
Yeah, just a touch. How narrow is it?
It's not. It's built for people J.R. Lockwood size. So being that it's built for smaller creatures, it's spacious for J.R., not so for you. So
There's
7
not even
foot,
a chance for me to open out my wings at this point either.
Probably not,
Okay.
no. It's about 5 foot wide in most places.
Come, Nacrin, feel the cold caress of the stone upon your body as you walk through these wonderfully hewn tunnels.
So from where you are in this room, there is a doorway north, or a tunnel leading north that you kind of came from, but there is more complex towards that northern end of the tunnels, or you can extend south through the tunnels as well and extend onwards.
Did anybody get hurt then?
Yes, I took a bit, but I think I should be right for a while.
Okay.
Okay, you're going to head north or south?
North.
Okay, you start moving your way up through the tunnels north. Obviously, there's the tunnel that you came first. As you are moving to the north,
Is it lit?
to the left, you find that throughout this complex there are lanterns, and the lanterns have this oil in it that gives off a red kind of glow from them. There's red oil in there, and you can see pulleys that are lit, that are basically hooked up so the lanterns can be dropped and lit and then hoisted back up to provide light and above head height. For the two of you medium kind of characters, they're a little close for comfort as you go past. You actually feel the heat. They give off a weird smell too, like a very earthen kind of smell. Also, just a reminder in here that the sound from the waterfall is so loud in the background that you kind of have to talk really loudly to hear each other. Like, it's really hard to whisper. There is it covers a lot of sound. Like there's just this constant roar from the waterfall that falls outside, and it's probably a bit humid in this area as well, and misty from all the moisture that's around. So you start heading north. There is the tunnel going to the left, which takes you out the way that you came in. You know that about 5 foot into that, there was another tunnel that leads to the north, or you can just continue around a curved tunnel that also ends up leading to the north as well. Your choice.
Which way, JR?
Which
way, JR?
I guess we'll go around this curve.
Okay.
All right. Marching order.
So hang on, we're going around the route. Hang on, can we see the pathway for the other two routes?
All you can see is the doors. From this juncture, which is a T intersection, you can see that it heads off towards the east, and then curves around, and you can see that towards the west, there's another tunnel that goes north.
As soon as JR said around the tunnel, Moradius would have started walking solidly and purposefully hunched over around the curve.
So Moradius leads the way. Who goes second?
I'll go second, and I'll skittishly kind of, you know, like how birds kind of hop along, kind of like that. Yeah.
So Nacron starts hopping along behind you, laying an egg. And then you move. So you move up the tunnel, not more than about 30 odd feet around the curve before you see that towards the eastern side of this tunnel, there's a passage that goes off. You can continue on around the curve as well. The curve continues out of sight because it's a curve. But there's also another tunnel that goes off to the east.
Moradius just keeps going around the curve.
Okay, you walk past an open room. Do you want to peek into that open room that's off to the east?
Sure.
Okay. Parked in alcoves in this otherwise empty rooms, you see a sight that beguiles you and intrigues you, especially someone like J.R. Lockwood with his sense of adventure that is rolling down his leg and forming a puddle in his shoe. These two kind of contraptions resemble a crab with a barrel for a shell and 6 articulated metal legs that kind of poke out from the bottom like crab's legs, and a pair of forward-facing pincer claws. A hatch on top of each of the open barrels reveals an interior compartment that you could probably look inside. Otherwise, this room is empty.
I'm so looking inside because it sounds like I'm about to get a spider mech.
Can I check for traps at all?
You can check for traps. So you hold JR as he starts to go forward, putting your hand on his chest, and you lead the way looking for a trap. Can you please roll for me a
trap check?
It would be a perception check,
okay,
I
I've
believe.
got a 13 on a perception check.
A 13 on a perception check reveals that there are no traps.
You're all good?
Okay, well, what do we have here?
Okay.
I want to approach one and have a look inside.
You jump up on top of one being the exact same height that it's intended for as a smaller creature, and you pull open one of the hatches, revealing an interior compartment that is equipped with a small leather-padded seat surrounded by levers, pedals, and gears.
Got a mech suit.
I jump inside and try and figure it out.
There's 2 of them?
There are 2 of them. They are specifically designed for small characters, though.
Nacron, would you like to rock off for the second one?
I don't think I'd get in there. I'm not a small character.
I'll give it a crack.
Okay.
You want me? Someone who hates confined spaces. You want me to get into an even further?
Just looks like a bunch of I don't know how to. Nope. And Moradius looks at it, shakes his head, not knowing what to do, and then.
You think you might be able to fit inside pretty uncomfortably. Like, imagine trying to sit in a child-sized go-karty type thing. Like, your knees would be up around your elbows kind of thing. But you could possibly fit inside. Your head would stick out the top of the barrel rather than looking through the viewfinder.
Not worried about the cramped space. He's more worried about the operation of the thing and not sure he's got the wherewithal to pull the right lever at the right time.
Yeah, yeah. All right, so you're not getting inside one?
No.
JR, what are you going to do? You've popped yourself inside one. You're starting to look around. You're like, oh, this isn't so different to the T-15 that you flew back at home with Womp Rats.
Yeah, I'm going to try and... Is there any manuals nearby? Or
No, there's just pulleys and levers.
I'm going to start pulling on some levers and trying to figure out what's going on.
All right. I don't know the rules enough to say anything, but give me an insight check. Let's see if you have some insight, which is based on wisdom around this. And you are actually, because you're unfamiliar, you're going to take disadvantage on this roll.
See, that's just what a good rule set works like, right?
I don't even know how to use these rules.
4 then.
A 4. You start pulling one. All of a sudden, the contraption. Let's call them the crab barrel, the barrel crab barrel.
Crab barrel's better.
Yeah, the crab barrel starts moving to the left. And you guys from the outside just see these skittering legs, 3 on each side, like a 3-legged spider or a crab, just starting to move sideways.
Cool.
Doesn't matter if you break that one. There's a spare out here. Doesn't matter if you break that one. There's a spare out here.
Which is interesting because as it starts moving to its right, it is on a collision course to the other crab barrel.
I pull a different lever.
Okay, you pull a different lever. Just make a D100 check for me and let's see what you are getting.
Does this crab barrel thing seem to have, does it look like it might be able to walk up a wall?
No.
42.
42. You pull another lever and the crab barrel stops in its tracks and kind of moves up a little bit, like almost like it's reaching for something a little bit higher at the front. So the pincers at the front could possibly reach a medium-sized creature's shoulder or head.
Ooh.
Up the 6-foot kind of corridor, the top of the 6-foot corridor.
I'm just seeing if there's anything I can do to try and gain better knowledge of what the hell's going on.
You're slowly learning. How long are you going to spend doing this? Because this is a matter it's one of those things. You don't think you're going to break the contraption by pulling levers and stuff, but it's going to take you some time to figure it out, like a learner driver.
Okay. Let's come back for this. Let's see if we can find the people. But I'm definitely taking one of these with me.
Even as you're walking though, like you guys outside specifically looking at it. While the contraption looks pretty cool and all that, it is a little clumsy in its movement. Like it slips on the floor. Its feet sort of slip on the floor. It's not exactly the most finesseful kind of contraption. You get the idea as players using the knowledge that we have in our life. This is probably some kind of forklift or some kind of contraption designed to grab big things and move them around.
Get away from her, you bitch.
I don't care. Can you imagine rolling into town for a gig in a crab mech?
Didn't you roll into town with extended legs last time you rolled into town?
Exactly.
This would be much more impressive.
Yes, and we could pimp my crab.
Oh, God. You'll need some cream and ointment for that. Some
Put
unguent.
a mohawk on the top.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Great.
Yeah, so that finds you guys in an area where you are moving around. So
Follow the curve. Let's go.
you are begin to follow the curve.
Begin to continue to follow the curve.
So you're not taking it with you. We're just leaving.
I'm preparing to begin to follow the curve.
All right, so you begin to follow the curve around. Eventually, you go north and it moves to the west, and it gets to another T intersection, one of which goes south, one of which goes north. If you look to the south, you can hear, again, the waterfall a little bit louder, and you seem to, just by the way that you're looking, it seems like you're going back towards the area where you came in. It's almost like a switchback area, and this room would have been between. So you think maybe this was the room that went north from that initial passageway. You look down and you see a room that contains several tables and chairs that are all sized for small people. There's a stout wooden cabinet against the east wall that is shut.
Let's just quickly go down and check out this room before we continue on north.
Correct.
The room itself isn't super big. It's about 25 foot by 10 foot, and there's a series of tables. Obviously, if you're thinking for small people, the smaller folk can fit quite a lot in there. So, it's one of those rooms that's got you can see the intent is probably a dining room.
Okay.
Anything in the cabinets or?
You open the cabinet to find small clay dishware and sort of cutlery made of wood that is in there. So, as when they want to eat something,
Does it look clean, old, well tended, or
it looks clean but worn. So it looks used and clean.
are there lots of them?
They are, yeah. They're
Where are all the gnomes?
well, you found one.
One.
And you found some
Obviously,
machines.
they've perished with the small portions that they're eating with this very small plates. Come on, let's head up to the north. Follow along.
What's his place called again?
Nomengard.
Oh.
No gnomesman guard.
Nomengard.
Come on.
Okay, let's go north.
You start heading north up, and it is at that time that you see a door for the first time, and light flickers from under the door, and it's a different type of light. Like whereas all the other lights have been a red tinge, this has that orangey kind of bright yellowy glow of an actual
Flame.
fire.
Meridius.
And you can hear movement and stuff. Not a lot of it because the roar of the din of the waterfall, but you can hear some stuff beyond.
Do you want to knock?
I could do it with my boot.
No, just knock loudly so they can hear us, but
Okay.
I don't want to surprise anyone again.
And Meridius walks up to the door and with a big meaty fist. Hello.
Come on!
They said come in.
Okay, I take the lead at this point,
Mm-hmm.
but I duck as I
Okay.
open the door.
Yeah. Nice.
You duck as you open the door. You open the door into a kitchen. You see a kitchen that is a flurry of activity. You see along the floor lots of benches and kitchen type apparatus, and across the top you see a whole heap of storage that is accessible by cabinets that can be lowered with ropes and pulleys so shorter people can get to the things that are stored on top. Inside of here you see 5 gnomes. If you know, anyone here know anything about gnomes, which would be like a knowledgey nature?
Yes, I will make a
Do a
knowledge
nature check.
nature.
Can I support that roll or should I make my own roll?
You could support that roll.
I didn't even support my own rolls.
That just means I roll it with advantage.
15. Does that give you an advantage?
You roll it with advantage.
Should have taken your 15. 12.
Judging by the hue of their skin and the way that they look and some of the features, you think that these are rock gnomes, not just normal gnomes. They've got mohawks, they've got nose piercings, they're wearing leather jackets, and they're fully rocking out.
Grunge. Rock gnomes.
Rock gnomes.
As I duck up, I'm like, don't shoot.
Don't shoot. You see in here, there are 5 gnomes. There is one gnome that is using a poker to stoke a fire of a hot iron stove that stands against the east wall. You see another male who is using a complicated press-like contraption to squeeze oil out of what looks like a huge big red mushroom, the same mushrooms that you saw outside on the island, and filtering the liquid into oil flasks. You see another female atop a low table, which is using a mechanical rolling pin contraption to knead a green bread dough, a very vibrant green dough. And the severed caps of several big green mushrooms are set around her. Again, the same mushrooms that you saw on the way in. You see another male that's forming dough into loaves of green bread, his tongue sticking out and moving from side to side as he carefully shapes each loaf like a master sculptor. And the last gnome that's in here teeters on a stool as she stuffs a big purple mushroom into a barrel so that it looks like it can ferment into some type of brew, wine, something along those lines.
Please don't shoot. My name is J.R. Lockwood at your service. What?
It is not time for dinner yet. What are you doing in here?
We are from Fandalen.
Oh, what? And it's at that time that you see the man that was using a complicated press-like contraption to squeeze oil out of the big red mushroom turns to you and thinks, oh, strangers, who? Speak yourselves. Who are you? Announce.
My name is J.R. Lockwood. This is my humble manservant, Meridius, and his pet Nicron.
Oh, you'll need to speak to Fibble, Stibble, Dabble, Dob.
Don't mean to alarm you, but one of your gnome friends has gone mad and shot me.
Oh, yes. Unfortunately, you need to avoid that chamber if you can.
So I need to talk to Fizzle, Fuzzle.
Fizzle, stibble, stabble,
Fizzle,
stop.
Stibble, Dabble, Dob.
I'm sure that they will be here for dinner soon, or you could find them if you want. They're across the way. Go under the bridge, over to the other side of the waterfall. They're over there. They're probably in their workshop looking for things.
You sound like Nikron.
What is a Nikron?
This guy.
No.
So
No, I'm a gnome.
Can someone...
We are here to meet with the two kings of Nomengard,
Oh, yes.
Nerkly and Corboz.
Oh, no, you need to speak to Fibble Stab and Dabble Dobble.
Can you please escort us to Fizzle Stubble Gabble Dobble?
No, couldn't possibly stop. We've got dinner to make, people to see.
How many are you making for dinner?
We're making dinner for everyone. Everyone, maybe you'll stay for dinner if you see Fibble Stib and Dabble Dob. Anyway, gotta get back to it.
Is it Fibble or Fizzle or...
It's different every time. I've written it down 4 times now, and it's not easy to write down.
A gnome's name is very fluid.
Please give me the directions to Dibble Fizzle Wobble Bubble.
It's south from here. It's south. Go past where you probably meant factory and make sure you avoid all of those crossbows. She's nuts. And then go down south, and once you're in the south area, I'll start going across the water bridge and get over to the other side, and you'll see where they are. They're in their workshop.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh no! And at that point, you see oil starting to spill out of the press. He's like, oh no, go! And he grabs a jar and he's like, oh, gotta get back to work. And you see him like grabbing some of that red oil that you can see in some of the lamps around the place.
I close the door and go,
JR?
can you believe people get us and them
I'm
mixed
a
up?
gnome. Oh no! There's oil everywhere.
Let's move down the hall a bit. It's a bit loud.
It's loud, yes. Should we ask them about the lay of the land here on this side of the bridge?
I don't think that's necessarily. I think we just need to find Gribble Bobble Fizzle Nobble.
Okay.
Yes, Nikron?
Keep moving. Just
Okay.
keep moving.
We're all right. Heading
Are
back
you
around.
okay, Nikron? I've never seen a bird
Are you
split
guys still
before.
in the room at this point?
No, we've left.
Okay.
We're walking now. Back the way we came.
Well, no. Can we follow around to the south? I think this might exit us out into the external area, but we're going to have to be aware of Crossbow Lady Factorum, I think is what they called her.
Okay.
Crossbow bolts and all.
She'll still be friendly for us at the moment.
Oh.
So
Come on, then.
How long does that last for?
An hour.
An hour. Sweet.
Let's go.
Sweet.
Okay, you start moving south again. You retrace your steps. You can either go through the dining room area or you can go past the crab barrels.
Crab barrels.
You go past the crab barrels. You see one of them's badly parked at this point where somebody's messed with it. And you start heading south.
They'd be too big to carry with us, right? I couldn't pick one up and take
Not really. Yeah, they're too big. They're 5 foot. They are large creatures, or medium-sized kind of.
Get in a crab barrel, even if we have to steal it GTA style. We get in the crab barrel.
Can we not make it like pull its legs in and all that and just roll it out there like a ball? Okay, right.
No, it doesn't work. The barrel has been altered so much it's not actually rollable anymore. And you start moving south. You see a whole heap of crossbows and factor again. Factor. Click, click, doing. Oh, nick, 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 nick.
Hi, Factorum. We're just looking for Gribble Mabble Nabble Nibble.
Hey, blah.
Fizzle whistle, but there's a niddle.
Yeah. Can you show us to Finizzle Manizzle?
And you just see her start, she's pulling. She's not paying you any attention at this point in time.
Radius moves, moves on
If
through.
anything, she throws an arrow at you in a weird way and then just keeps going on to her business.
I think she likes me.
And you start moving south
I
again.
think she's one nut short of a bolt set.
That's why I think she likes it.
Oh, God.
So you start moving south again. You get around a little short curve that moves to the west. And at this point, you get another T intersection. Straight ahead of you is another exit straight into the water. One of the caves that you saw above the cliffs, there were a few entrances on either side of that kind of inlet. And then towards the south, there's another tunnel.
Let's head straight to the bridge, I think.
Yes. Maradius, I'm letting you seem to know your way around these stoneworks.
It talks to me.
So you head straight outside.
Through the water?
Overlooking, the first thing you find is you are on top of a little ledge 20 foot up that overlooks the water. You can see that to the south of where you're standing. So you're looking west to the south of where you're standing. There's the waterfall and there's the bridge that is
Through
there.
the water?
So yeah, the waterfall's just at the back of the bridge, but it's got mist all around it. So it was kind of hard to see from the original area. And you can see another ledge that comes from this side. So the tunnels must link up with that ledge that goes to the rope
It's
bridge.
obvious. If anyone could feel the tunnels, they would know that this is going to link up automatically. My feathered friend Nacron, through the water? Allow me. And he'll pull his cloak up and hold the waterfall so Nacron can walk through the water without getting wet.
You're not in the waterfall. The waterfall's still
I
no.
thought you had to walk through the waterfall.
No,
to get to the bridge.
you're at one of the entrance caves.
okay.
The
That would have been a great scene.
Yeah, you have to go back inside and back out to get to the actual bridge. The waterfall's beyond the bridge.
Righto.
So the bridge will get wet, but it's not like the waterfall's on top of the bridge because it
Have
would
to
just
walk through the
destroy the bridge. But you're walking through the spray of that bridge. But it's
intense is
also
the spray?
It's also about 30 foot to the south of you right now. So
Okay.
you'd have to go back inside, or you could jump down the 20 foot into the water, swim across, climb up another 20 foot or 30 foot ledge to get to one of the other tunnels.
To the bridge.
Nacron could, of course, fly.
To the bridge.
Okay, so you move back inside and you start heading to the south, the only tunnel. This tunnel moves off to the east and you find another T intersection. Straight ahead of you, you can see there's an opening with a largish type room, and even from where you are, you can get the hint of some more barrels in that room, or you can move to the south.
No, straight up to the barrel room.
You move into the room. This room contains 20 40-gallon barrels, which are set into wide alcoves in the wall. Each barrel is secured by a wooden brace, and they seem to have been tapped, the ones in the south anyway, with wooden spigots.
Spigots.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Can I turn a spigot and see what comes out?
You can...
Holding a cup underneath?
Yes, you can. And as you turn a spigot, remember when we were just talking about
Purple water?
Yeah, you can see that there is a purple kind of wine that comes out of it. It smells earthy, and it's got a very wine-like texture to it with a
Radius
couple
will
of bubbles
taste it.
around the top. They say in the book it is a purple fermented wine that is made from mushrooms. Tastes as good as it sounds is the quote from the actual rule book.
This is delicious.
So yeah, whether you like mushrooms, for me, I fucking hate mushrooms.
Oh, I
so
love
I
mushrooms.
couldn't think of anything worse than drinking mushroom wine. You're now tripping balls.
This is delicious.
Yeah, man, Grundenar, man. No, yeah, you have a wine. You can taste the alcohol that is obviously involved
It's
in this.
basically alcoholic kombucha.
Yeah, but it's a low level alcohol, I guess.
This one tastes like a beet wine.
It's not as good as the beet wine.
Nice.
Yeah, but you also see, in this room as well, there's a whole heap of barrels. So there's 20 odd barrels all around, 20 around the place. Yeah.
Anyone in this room?
No, nothing in this room. This room's quite large, actually. This is the biggest room that you've been to, being about 50 foot by 50 odd foot with some alcoves cut out of it and stuff. It's not a big square. It's kind of an odd shaped room, though.
Have you looked for secret entrances or anything like that? Secret doors?
No.
Let's go back to that T intersection. Take one of those. Pass. Was it T intersection?
Yep. So you go back to there and you start heading to the south. Is the only way other than into this room.
Always to the south. Let's always head to the south. That's where they said the bridge was.
They really need some sort of like map or sign markings. Pizzle, cobble, slobber, boo, this way.
Yes.
Or a
Shibble,
receptionist.
stubble, double dub.
Yeah.
Let's go. Come on.
All right.
Whoa. Did anyone else feel that? Feels like the earth's moving around here. Whew. That wine's strong. Come on then. Oh, it's hot in here. Oh. And then Maradius, yeah, soldiers on.
Okay,
To
you
the
move
south.
down to the southern tunnel. You come into a room. The mist from the waterfall dampens this empty cave, which has a 10-foot high ledge overlooking it that comes to the south. On top of the ledge, you see 2 rock gnomes that are standing there.
Who are you? Announce yourselves and speak your business.
Hello, and he does a bow. I am J.R. Lockwood at your service.
J.R. Lockwood, prove yourself. Who are you and how do I know you are J.R. Lockwood? Yes, how do I know you're J.R. Lockwood?
I shall vouch for him. He is J.R. Lockwood,
Who are you?
not J.R. Lockwood.
How do we... That's what? What?
And you see them kind of, at that point, this is the first time that you can see they're dressed kind of like guards at this point. They have small kind of spears that they hold. And as you say, I am not J.R. Lockwood, they kind of get their back up a little bit and you can see that and there's an element of wariness to them, like they're on the lookout for something as well. And they say,
Speak who you are.
J.R. Lockwood here.
Yes.
Miradius and Nikron.
What is your business?
We're here to see Double Ripple Squadral Bubble.
Fibble, stibble, dabble, dob.
You're here to say Fibble, Stibbin, Dabble Dob. Fibble, Stibbin, Dabble Dob. What?
Hopefully from there, the 2 kings.
Yes, we were sent here from Fandalen, from Harbour and Weston.
and they look at you and their eyes squint and they kind of look from each of you and say, and you can hear them talk, like they kind of have a bit of a conversation with them. And they're so used to these caverns that they're not talking softly. Like their whisper is like, you know, like an old person is like,
What?
and they're like,
How do we know they're who they say they are? I don't know, Pug. I don't know how they know what they are. We should prove it, Ula.
and then
Prove yourselves. How do we know you are who you are? Sometimes things aren't what they seem.
Okay, so-
We don't want to call you a shape changer, but gnomes, no.
So what's the group? What's our group called?
The JR and the Stonebirds.
They are on the Staples. Okay, so I'm going to cast Minor Illusion to create a mini poster, which has basically got us as the band saying the
JR and the Stonebirds.
that exactly that.
Okay.
Coming to perform at a local tavern near you. So yeah, and then send that on to
right,
them
so-
as proof.
So would you, just to help you along here, are you saying that you're here to perform for the Kings, perhaps?
Sure.
Is that your ruse? Like just instead of at the local tavern, because you don't know if there's a tavern here.
Yep.
Just to provide you, because there's some context, you know, I guess that we sitting at this table in the Fumble Factory don't get sitting that your characters might in there. So perhaps that could be a way of you getting inside. So at this point, I need some type of deception check.
Ooh,
JR,
from someone.
you've spent a lot of money on marketing. I see that's a great post. Well
Yes.
done. That's all. I
Allow-
love the font you've used. It's
Allow me to do this
full
role.
color.
Helvetica, I believe. Is
It's interesting that at all given
Does he-
turns in this group that you never go for the truth.
Does he?
We're here because there's a white dragon and we need your help. Nope.
You
We are-
offered the
I know.
fun
No,
option.
well, he went straight for the post. I just think it's hilarious.
No, we're
that
trying to
there's
prove
some
who we
options.
are.
Exactly
Yeah,
who we
I
are.
love it.
It's
I love
proof
it.
who we are,
though.
yeah.
I love it.
So does he get advantage because I cast a spell, given the
He
poster?
certainly does get advantage for that.
I got you, Lindsay. Oh, fucking hell, Lindsay.
13.
13.
Oh, you're here to see the kings. Well, why don't you just say so? Gnome kings also need to be entertained. Forward through, forward through, forward through.
can make way for JR,
Mm.
I guess.
Sure. Let's
And the stoned birds.
Any more of that purple wine? Oof.
I'm going to be needing something to get me through these taverns, I tell you. I was getting a little bit worried I might have to roleplay it that I just firebolt the first thing that moves in front of me because I'm so twitchy.
Oh, they're gonna go speak to King Corballs. King Corballs is what they need.
And you hear that in the
Fizzle
background.
dibble.
As you start moving
no, we
towards
bypass Fizzle.
towards the west. You get on to the bridge. The Bridge of Joy. Now, the bridge itself isn't super hard, but the waterfall that you can see, it's about a 60-foot waterfall that plunges into the water, and there's a light mist that obscures this 35-foot rope bridge. It's about 20 foot high off the ground, but it dips, so it's about 15 foot at its lowest point in the
I'm just going
very
to fly across.
middle of the bridge. Yeah, and Nacron flies across.
Yeah, I'm not going to go across that with the rock.
I will walk across.
Okay, you walk across. Just make a percentage check for me. Or an acrobatics if you are skilled at acrobatics.
If you're walking on the bridge.
If you're walking on the bridge, just because of the
Moradius is
slipperiness
just
of it.
watching the whole time.
18.
18 is very much. You walk across the bridge. It's slippery, but you manage to keep your feet under you the entire time. Get across the swaying bridge, and even from where you're looking at Moradius, you can see the bridge is kind of sturdy, but it's wet. It's a little slick, and it rocks as people walk on it. And he's certainly a lot lighter than you are.
Moradius is going to
You're
go
a heavy stone
one
dude.
step at a time.
Yeah.
It's just like very carefully. One
Make an
step, one
Have you got
hand.
acrobatics?
I do.
Yeah, make an acrobatics check for me.
7.
7 is still enough for you.
Oh,
with-
really?
With some handholds, you get to a point where, you know, when you're crossing something like that and you're kind of like, "Ooh," and you stop and your hands go out, you hold the handrails and you kind of just stay there. For you, the handrails are kind of at knee height,
Yeah.
so they don't provide too much shelter, but the whole thing rocks for a moment.
He's worried
and
about
then-
flipping it over.
Yeah, the whole, and then you're like a hammock, and then you kind of, it steadies itself and you start moving across.
About
again.
halfway through it, the swaying, the wine kicks in and he gets a little vertigo.
And then a purple heave over the side. Yeah, and you make it across the side without too much harm. On the other side, there's another ledge above a cliff that's 20 foot high and a tunnel that goes more to the west.
When have we been led? To the king?
Yeah. So you're now on the other. So essentially,
Gandula,
it's
lead
like,
us to the
yeah,
king.
it's like an inlet, and there's a whole heap of caverns on one side, and then the bridge connects it to the other side.
Also, we don't have the guards with us.
No, the guards have said go on.
Waved you on.
Yeah,
Sort of thing.
go on.
Oh, I thought Pog and Ulla might send us to the king.
The security in this place.
Well, if the bridge is anything like the rest of the places like that bridge, then they won't need much security. That thing was touch and go.
So
The mist from the waterfall is abound in this area, and as you move into the western side, you can see that this lightly obscured mist covers something that looks like a turnstile that's fitted with stacks of long, sharp blades spaced about 1 foot apart. One of the turnstiles, which is the one on the northern side, spins counterclockwise, while the southern one spins clockwise, creating some type of chompy, mompy, dicey, micey moment for our part. So while security might be lax, it's also pretty harsh in certain places with crossbows and spinning blades.
Only the penitent man will pass.
Nice.
Yeah.
do you want to fly me across, please?
There is no area to climb
Oh.
across. So if you are moving into this, there is no way of getting down. So essentially, think of like a small room that's about 15 foot by about 30 foot. These blades are 15 foot in their diameter. You're in a little alcove to the north, and the other door out of this is set into the south. So you have to go past both of the blades or pass through the middle of the blades.
Is there a pathway that we
to
can
get
see that's
there.
going to be easy or successful?
Just make for me a perception check, please.
I'll jump on that action.
Everyone or just
It's very misty in here. 10.
Yep, Nightcrawler's just far too skittish at the moment to see anything rolling a 1.
Okay.
Oh,
and
wow.
for you, JR,
I want to look instead of for a path. I want to look for an off switch.
make your perception check.
No.
Can't see shit.
That's an 8.
An 8. What did you get again?
A
Bernice?
10.
A 10. On a 10, you do see some kind of a dark spot in the wall set in the southern end of the room. It doesn't really help because you have to get through the blades to go there and check it out, but you think that there is something in the wall.
Something in the wall over there. Throw a javelin at it.
Do you have a Nigrin? I've seen wizardy people use like a magic hand. Have you got a magic hand or wing?
Yeah, magic claw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Is
Mage
there-
hand. Yeah, is that what you mean?
Yeah. Can you like maybe investigate that from a distance?
Range 30 feet. So- I'm just reading the spell here. So spectral floating hand appears. At a point you choose within range, the hand lasts for the duration until you dismiss it in action. The hand vanishes if it is even more than 30 feet away. You can use the hand as an action to control. So I can use an action to control the hand. You can use the hand to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door, or continue. What do you want to do? Just kind of feel up whatever's in the dark.
Yeah.
Cool.
See if it's a button or a lever or something like that.
All right, I'll cast Mage Hand then. Let's do it.
You cast your mage hand into the darkness, and it is indeed an alcove into the wall. As you're feeling along, you see a lever, or
Okay.
you feel a lever.
There's a lever.
Okay. Do you want to pull it? See what happens?
I pull the lever.
I take a step back.
As soon as you pull the lever up, the turnstiles stop spinning.
Sweet.
Hold on, let me go first in case they start up again, and Maraudis will start walking through.
Maraudis makes it all the way through into a little antechamber on the other side to the south.
It's all clear.
JR walks through.
And Nitron follows,
And Nicron follows.
hopping away.
Yeah, eventually, you know, these probably will start whirring again or whatever.
Should
but
we reset the lever?
right now, you can, even as you get to the south, you can hear it like a timer kind of as it's clicking back, and you can see the lever slowly lowering back down to release whatever it is that is stopping these pulleys from walking along. You then take the only path that is available to you, and that is to the north and to the west. Even as you're going down here, you overhear an argument that is in Gnomish. Does anyone here speak Gnome?
No.
Incorrect.
Common
No.
and primordial.
Flanders, no, Dizzle, bo, Dizzle, do, stand, bigaligador, diggle, bundle.
Is
Yeah.
what you hear, and it is. You can hear two voices that are clearly engaged in some type of argument. But what you can hear throughout there is, you know how like when people do a version of pidgin, I guess, and certain words
I
just
find that offensive.
certain words.
Squab.
Sorry, that got me. I couldn't help that one. Certain words just like pop through in English, even in other languages, and I'm hoping that this translates into other languages, not that we do. But you can hear a word through a perception check. So let's see if you can hear some perception.
11.
Not enough.
I got a natty 20.
Okay, you hear them.
I also got a natty 20.
Oh, well done, boys.
23.
Let's get them out of the way
So-
now while they're not important.
Both of you hear the word Sanity Ray, and another one you hear Straight Jacket.
With the French accent.
It's in Gnomish. That's the
I
Gnomish
couldn't, I
accent.
couldn't even figure out what that first word you said was.
Sanity ray.
Sanity ray.
Something for sanity and something for... It would appear like they're going crazy. Shall I introduce you like we practiced that time?
Well, we're going not going as musicians. We're going as
Psychiatrists?
superheroes.
Formal announcement like you told me
Adventurers,
on?
yes.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
And then Maraudis will step up with his javelin and bang it 3 times in the floor.
Mhm.
Yes.
I present to you the Honourable J.R. Lockwood. And I could...
Hello. My name is J.R. Lockwood at your service, Andrew. Flourishing.
Ah, good. Help us. Sanity Ray or straight jacket. Yeah, straight jacket is way to go. It's a straight jacket, not a sanity ray. Sanity ray is insanity to me. We would like, what do you think is better? Sanity ray or a straight jacket?
What problem are we trying to solve?
Well, if you had somebody that may have lost their mind, perhaps imbibed in too much wine, What would you do
What's that now?
to keep them?
Are you
A
talking-
sanity ray would restore the sanity of the person. Yes, but a straight jacket would send them from being bent to straight. Set their mind in order.
So, are we talking about Factorium by any chance?
Oh, no, she's too far gone for that. No, it's another issue that we have. Have we said too much?
Well, I would say a sanity ray, mainly for the fact that it might be able to be applied from a distance, whereas a straight jacket means someone has to put the jacket on the person or creature that needs to be put on.
So, which one would you perhaps use on a king, perhaps, who might be a little off?
Can I ask who I'm talking to? Sorry.
Yes. My name is Fibblestib.
Oh, Fizzle.
Yes, and I'm Dabbledob. We're nerds.
Two of them,
there.
I see.
Oh, now it makes so much sense.
Yes.
Hi.
And it's at that point that you're looking around, and for the first time, instead of focusing on the two gnomes in the room, you clue in to see that this is a workshop, and a workshop, the type that you have never seen before. There is shit everywhere. There are piles of wood. There are piles of potions, flowers, sacks of things. You can even see a pedestal there with a book on it that looks like it might have been some type of magic item book. You can see a bench with a whole heap of bubbling brews and like decanters and smoke that comes off in different areas. You can see a forge in the corner with various different kind of items there, and you can assume even from what this is where the magic items happen in Nomengard.
So nice to meet you. Yes, we are adventurers from Fandalen. We are sent to talk to you guys about if you have any weapon that can kill a white dragon.
You'd have to speak to the kings about that. Couldn't speak to the kings until we figure out sanity ray or straight jacket.
How about we flip a coin? They both sound like wonderful options.
Well, I have an option. This might be an idea. We've tried. We've tried everything we can. It's going to take time to develop and put a prototype, and then perhaps do another prototype, and move on from there. But perhaps other people from other places might be able to talk to both of the kings. You may be able to talk to King Kobors himself. See what's wrong. What's wrong with King Nerkley as to why he's not acting in the way that he should. King Kobors has been a bit off himself.
Oh, yes, we can certainly do that. We want to talk to the kings anyway.
Kobolds and Nerkley. Interesting.
Yes, the kings. They're in their room right now. They've apparently King Kobors isn't coming out. He said that they're staying in their bedroom for now.
Is it by any chance their anniversary?
No, I don't think it's their anniversary. No,
Okay.
Usually they go on a holiday.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
They take a lot of wine with them.
I will
They
make
come
sure-
back happy.
I will make sure I knock.
Is the cause of the problem the wine? Because I've just drunk some of it.
No, the wine's fine. We're not sure what's happening. He keeps going on about shape changes. He's told the guards, look out for shape changes indeed. But we need to fix this. We need our kings back. If we don't have harmony on our kings, we're not going to be doing a very good, joyous area of creating magic items. Look, I tell you what. Listen.
Yes, listening.
Are you listening?
Yes.
If you can do this,
Yes.
just reading.
Go on.
Wait a minute.
Slide the number of magic items you'll give us on a piece of paper across the table.
Wait a minute. Give me a moment.
And
Wait. Wait.
Do tell.
Stop distracting me. Why not just put them in here? I tell you what.
What?
If you do this for us, we will compensate you with something wonderful. We've made some wonderful things here. I have an amulet.
Ooh.
An amulet. Yes, that's an amulet. And you can also have this as well. It's a wonderful pole. But we will tell you more once the deed is done.
You throw in one of those crab bucket walker things and you've got yourself a deal.
A what?
One of those barrel walker things. They look like a crab, but you're in
Oh,
a barrel.
crab barrel.
Yeah, crab barrel.
A crab barrel? No, you can't have one of those. We need those to move the barrels from one place to another. How will we move our wine? We're not
Well,
big enough.
I am sure you will
Leave
make
him behind, and they point to Maradius. Perhaps he can move the barrels for us, and you can take one of those.
JR looks at Maradius thinking,
Nope.
Crab barrel.
what if you make me a crab barrel?
Instead of these items,
Make another. No, as well.
look, that would take months.
Well, you could make yourself another crab barrel. You got one crab barrel to move, and I'll take the other one with me.
Well, let's talk. Let's talk about it once you've done the job.
Plus an item to defeat a dragon.
Yes. Well,
Oh, I have to talk to the kings about that one.
Contraption.
Look, we're just saying, if you can do this for us, we've got some items for you if you can secure our hold from the kings and their madnesses.
I've always liked you, Fibble Stibble. I've always said that to Double Dob.
take us to your king. They see me crabbing.
They say, look, they're just down there to the west. And they point you up a set of stairs that go to the west. From this set of stairs, there is a pathway that goes north, but they basically tell you, and go straight to the west, and then you'll be able to get in. There's
No more traps?
What traps? There's no traps around here.
There was a big freaking munchy boy that tried to eat us.
Crossbows and
We have encountered Factorum with her crossbow and she shot it on us.
I have a hole in my shoulder from where she shot me.
We also saw the two big turnstiles with blades and had to pull the lever to stop them so we did not get munched.
I don't think they're helping. Let's go.
These gnomes don't like to walk anywhere, do they?
No.
They're very, very
That's probably why they
set
have-
in their place.
Probably where they have crab barrels.
Ah, right.
Crab barrels.
Crabber
just
barrels.
standing around ponds.
Crabbles. Yeah, from this, they say to go to the west. You do see another door that comes out from here that goes to the north as well from this room, but they point you to the west. They say, straight down that corridor and up to the north, and you'll see two big doors. There's the throne room. Go in there.
Okay.
How did I go with the welcome? We shouldn't have the
It
announcement.
was good. Bit more forceful next time.
Okay.
A bit like, and more titles.
More titles.
Yes.
Okay.
Even give Nikron one.
Okay. Titles.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Shall I do it into the throne
Yes.
room? Walks up to the throne room door.
Mm-hmm.
Is it open?
Is it
No,
definitely
it's
the throne room
shut.
door?
It's definitely shut.
The little problem, I've never encountered the closed door before.
You just, you knock. Do we knock? Nikron?
Nikron runs up and pecks at the door. Like a woodpecker.
Okay.
Can I unlock
There's
the
your
door?
knock.
You open the door?
Can I? Yes.
Yeah. You open the door leading into a throne room. Situated atop a stone dais are two squat thrones. Both are made of like scrap metal and other kinds of things that have been melted down, almost like the Game of Thrones throne, I imagine, but with less spikes to them and less swordy and a little more comfortable. They're sized for gnome bears.
A little harder to open a letter on that throne.
Yeah, there is nothing else in this room though.
Oh.
So the room is,
Can I take a perception check to see if there's anything else around that I can see?
you certainly can.
Yeah, it's still really skittish with a 7.
Meradius will step forward and forcefully bang his javelin into the floor. I present to you Mr. J.R. Lockwood of the Titanic, that title, movie title, and His Excellency Nacron of the
Brokeback Mountain.
Blue.
Cliff nests.
Bluenists. Bluenist. He just trails off, mumbling,
Hello?
and walks forward up to the kings don't react?
They're not
There's no one there.
There's no one there.
Oh,
The doors.
Talking to an empty room.
that was wasted. Sorry.
It's good practice. It was a good practice.
What titles are All right. Then.
I mean, I was thinking more like we'll workshop on it.
Right.
Yeah. And no other doors?
Nothing here. Let's go back to that other room in the west.
Wait. Perception check. 9.
9. What are you looking for?
I'm kind of just listening for weird noises because the last gnomes were super loud.
You don't hear anything untowards over the din of the waterfall. Essentially, you guys are standing in an open room that is obviously built for welcoming and for audiences with the kings. Nobody's in here.
Does it look like it's been occupied at all recently? Or
no. There's
Fibble, Stibble, or Double Dob did say they were locked in their bedrooms, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Let's go back there that way then.
To the west, I think.
Yes.
And then Moradius, as soon as he gets yes, walks off down to the western door.
east. This is the most western door that you've found. So
East,
you go back
the
to
other
the
door.
east, and there were 2 tunnels that you actually passed, one to the north and one to the south, on the way to the throne room from the 2 gnome inventors, from Dibble, Dub, and Fibble Stib.
Wait.
Yes.
J.R. Lockwood gets changed into one of his outfits.
Uh-huh.
After a little while, he comes up dressed as a priest.
Uh-huh.
Does it?
What? Okay.
Go on.
To the north.
Yep.
So you start heading up to the north. You get to the northern area. There's a first corridor that goes off to the east with a door at the end of it, which is shut, and the corridor continues to go north.
Should we check that door?
Yes, just yep.
Even as you move closer to the door itself, you can hear the arguing of the gnomes that you have come from on the other side of that door.
Oh, it's Fibble, Stibble, and Dibble Dobber.
Yep.
And then we turn around. Oh, I don't want to encounter those 2 again now. Move
Yet
around.
another entrance to that room.
This place is ridiculous. It's almost like, signposts. Let's go back the other way.
Let's go back the other way.
So
Come
you
on.
keep going north?
Yep.
So you head up north, and eventually you are led to a very ornate door, a very pretty looking door. It looks like a 5-foot wide door, but actually 2 double doors that open.
Oh.
And on each one of those doors, there is an intricately carved gnome that is standing with a crown on its head on each door. There are 2 of them.
Check for traps.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a
Reception.
reception 10?
No, they don't have any reception. That's a
I'll
problem.
do it also with an 11.
Mm-hmm. You find no traps on the door.
You ready for announcing?
Yes,
Oh, try better.
high priest.
Oh, thanks for the high praise. And then Moradius opens the door.
No, the door is locked. So the first door, it's locked. At that, you hear,
Who goes there on the other side?
Announcing High Priest J.R. Lockwood and his mistress Nacrin.
There is a shape changer in your midst. Find it and kill it. I'm not coming out till that happens. I've told everybody. Fibble, Stibbin, Dabbledob should know. I've told Karamip, Jabby, Nix, and Quippy as well. Anvreth, Delabine, Paladar, Zook. All of them.
Sire,
Yes.
how do you know we haven't already killed it?
Have you killed it?
Yes. Maybe. How would we know?
Tell them it looks like a big bird.
make a persuasion check. How are you going to persuade someone that you have killed it? You know what? I'm going to give you a week to think about it. We're going to find out next time.
Well, I'm not going to be much help on that one. My persuasion will be, you want me to kick the door in?
I got the persuasion.